How's everybody going? How you doing? How you going? How you doing and going? Thank you. I want to share this with you all as we get started. A little tribute to 9/11, 2001. It will forever be a big, 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 big part of my life experience. And to those of you who lost someone on that day, um, you know, I can I can feel it. I can feel your pain. It was a big chunk of our financial service community impacted by that. So I knew ever so indirectly a lot of people who were involved in that experience, as were all of us, no matter how far we were from the World Trade Center that day.
American Airlines emergency line, please state your emergency.
The cockpit's not answering. Somebody's stabbed in business class. And I think there's mace that we can't breathe. I don't know. I think we're getting hijacked.
Somebody hit the World Trade Center or the...
It's a Trade Center.
The World Trade Center. There's a fire on the upper floors.
This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning
that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. We don't know anything more than that. We don't know if it was a commercial aircraft. We have no idea how many were on board or what the extent of the injuries are right now.
Jules, this is Ryan. Lives on an airplane that's been hijacked, and things don't go well. It's not looking good. I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. So happy to find, and I just totally love you, and I will see you later. Bye, babe. Bye, bye.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That looks like a second plane.
There's another one. Another plane just hit. Right. Oh my God. Another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it.
Oh my goodness, there's another one.
It seems to be on purpose.
Oh my goodness, now it's obvious, I think.
I leaned over and whispered into his right ear. A second plane hit the second tower. America is under attack.
Today we've had a national tragedy. Two airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're looking at a live picture from Washington, and there is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon. It would appear that there has been another major explosion, this one in the nation's capital. There is smoke in the air over the Pentagon.
This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way!
We're getting reports that a part of the tower, the second tower, the one a bit further to the south of us, has collapsed. We are checking on that.
United 93, that traffic for you is 1 o'clock, 12 miles eastbound 370.
Negative contact. We're looking United 93.
When I took the call over, there was a soft-spoken, calm gentleman. I asked him his name. He told me Todd Beamer. He said, "Lisa, would you recite the Lord's Prayer with me?" He said, "Okay, let's roll."
We've got a report from a guy at 24 of a cloud of black smoke off his lap.
Wheeling Pit 97.
But we don't have confirmation.
United Airlines flight number 93 left Newark at 8:01 this morning en route to San Francisco. It went down in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
The North Tower is leaning. Oh my God, there it goes!
I live. I hope I live. She's coming down on me.
And there's, you can see, perhaps the second tower, the front tower, the top portion of which is collapsing. Good Lord.
Both trade towers, where thousands of people work, on this day, Tuesday, have now been attacked and destroyed. There is simply no way to accurately describe the emotion this evokes.
I want you all to know that America today is on bended knee in prayer for the people whose lives were lost here, for the workers who work here, for the families who mourn. This nation stands with the good people of New York City and New Jersey and Connecticut as we mourn the loss of thousands of our citizens. I can hear you. I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you. And the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
That we can't breathe.
Wow. What a day. What a day. What a day. Imagine the misinformation that created that day. You know, imagine what someone must think about us. How you doing, Ms. Clements? What must have been going through their mind? What part of what the terrorists knew was true and what part of it wasn't true? You know, there's so much information out here that's not true, and it's dangerous. You have extremely dangerous, like 9/11. You have extremely dangerous misinformation. I've seen people experience and lose their life savings making decisions based on information that wasn't true. I've seen people lose their life savings believing information that is called disinformation. Disinformation is information that is blatantly, purposefully used to lie to you, put out there so that you will not know the truth. That's disinformation. To read it to you, misinformation is false or inaccurate information, getting the facts wrong. Disinformation is false information which is deliberately intended to mislead you, intentionally misstating the facts. It is heartbreaking how many times clients share with me information that's been given to them that is purposely given to them, disinformation, blatant lies, made up illustrations, Dr. Jones, things that they just know is not true. And they'll give it to you depending, really depending on you not looking up the information. They'll give you this lack of factual information because they think that you'll lose your mind and do something that totally can be devastating. But how many people fall into what research says? Research says that people tend to lean towards information that is false and not true. So if they have to choose, they choose to have the bad information. It says research indicates that people tend to share and engage more with false or low quality information. They want to engage with false or low quality information, especially that which they encounter online. They want the false and low quality information compared to factual information. They do studies on everything. So they've done studies on this and they're like, well, people would rather, when they see which one they'll click on Mr. Loach, Dr. Jones, Esther Smith. I see y'all in the studio. They'll click on the fake stuff first. That's why half the time people will check on the fact that someone died. They'll check on it, rest in peace, Frankie Beverly. They'll check on that. They're not going to, Mr. Loach, they're not going to just accept, oh, Frankie Beverly died, right? Mr. Booker, they'll check on to make sure that your friend actually passed. But they're not going to check on the other stuff. That's what research is saying. It has to be blatantly false in order to get your attention. And some of these just like information, empowering, the things that we talk about. People don't go crazy giving me shares and likes on, things that are going to actually help them make better choices with their finances and become financially empowered. They're like, oh, that's no fun. That's no fun. She's trying to help people. We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about, me making better decisions and researching and asking questions and investigating things farther. We're not as excited. According to research, we're not as excited about factual information, especially when it was researched on online preferences. And it's not getting better. It says the spread of misinformation and disinformation has affected our ability to improve public health, the climate, maintain a stable democracy, and take care of your financial future. They weren't thinking about that when they made this statement, but I can say the spread of misinformation and disinformation is dangerous to your financial future. By providing valuable insight on how and why we are likely to believe misinformation and disinformation, psychological science says that we have to protect ourselves from the ill effects of the spread of misinformation and disinformation. That's something. It said that we have to protect ourselves from it. And how are we? Let's just think for a while. Mr. Booker said, many people will believe info from someone they know that is misinformed than to do their own research. It's so true. It's so true. No? Right? Mr. Jones. Yeah. So tell me, if you all can, give me some feedback on what misinformation do you feel is the most dangerous to our current life? Misinformation has been recognized as one of the top global risks to mankind. So how many times do you see people talking about this? Never. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go to. But when I saw an interview with Bill Gates, I believe it was, and he was talking about like, what do you think is the biggest risk to people and this and that? And he said misinformation. I was like, wow, snap. It's not just a black thing. White people are at risk for disinformation too, disinformation and misinformation. He was only talking about misinformation, but in reality, disinformation, when they are purposely sharing, do you think they told those men the truth when they got them to go in those airplanes and kill all of our friends like that? There's no way they had the truth that, there's some good people in America. They didn't get that kind of information. As long as you focus in your brain in on something bad, everything bad that you want to do will get done. All you gotta do is just buckle down into the lie. Oh, that was Dr. Williams. It's the people live in self-constructed bubbles with the internet. He said we choose and customize all our sources of information. Isn't that true? We choose and customize. And then, Dr. Williams, because I know you taught me a lot about this, the algorithm takes over and helps you customize it even more. It's like I was having a conversation. Oh, and I was talking about Tyreek Hill with the client, husband and wife, and I was talking about. I said, Lord, did you hear the engine on that car? Because I love rumble. So Tyreek Hill is the NFL player that was pulled over and the police dragged him out of his car. That they were way out of line on how they handled Tyreek. But thankfully he was not hurt, but he was trying to express to them that I'm injured, my knee, I just had surgery. But what is amazing to me is that the man just had surgery, then he went and played the game that night.
He went to work, JB. He went to work.
And tore that game up. Isn't it true? Running up and down. Right after that. There's no way people could we should be ashamed of ourselves when people complain. He just got knocked down by the police, put face down by the police, made him sit down by the police. I mean, the way that car was, I would have had to take my time getting out of it too. I'd be like, wait a minute. I just had a track meet yesterday. They're like, lady, if you don't get out, I'm like, look, I know you want me out quick, but I'm going as fast as I can. Lord, I knew exactly what he felt, but it kind of I was like, wow, it's just good. You know what I mean? To hear like someone else say, like, wait a minute, when you use your muscles, we got warm up. We got warm up to get out the car. Let me warm up. About to get up. And he was way down on the ground. That car is amazing though. I bet that car, that's a McLaren. It was a McLaren. Like, and I told you, anyway, I have a really big story about the McLaren, but I remember I always like say, I was just play like saying that's my car. Only since this rich man at the gym said the name, I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what's that? Somebody? What are you talking about? That car, I think that car was $500,000 at least. So anyway, I'm over there. So I'm saying this in my Zoom, in front of my computer, my phone, whatever. When I finished that meeting talking about how nice that car was and the rumble of the engine to Tesla ain't got nothing on that, blah, 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 blah. That interview that he did with Shannon or Shay Shay or whatever that he did talking about that car came up. I'm not even lying. Ding.
Okay.
Information is coming at us. And it was I think the title of it was a short too. It was like one of those that are less than a minute. And it said, what does Tyreek Hill drive to work?
Okay.
And he said in the video, deep in the video, so in the hash marks, it must have that particular, it must have the McLaren and blah blah blah, this and that. But he was saying, I drive a minivan to work every day, but not that day. Not that day, Tyreek, not that day. Sunday, you drove the big one. There wasn't no minivan. I thought maybe he was going like 100 miles an hour. That's misinformation. Though it was just kind of suggested that he was really like, I mean, I know that I think it was like a 45. He was doing 60 or something like that. But when they said reckless, I was really thinking like 100 because I know what the car can do. It can do 100. It can probably do 200. If it costs $500,000, it needs to really give you to the point of I'm almost flying. Like
Don't get mad.
right?
Don't get mad at me.
Huh?
I'm late for work, and I have a nice car that's going to get me there a little bit faster. Don't get mad at me because I'm late for work.
Woo!
I'm on my way to work.
But you should have told him, I don't know what to tell you. You got some misinformation, but this is a black man working right here. I apologize, but I've got to go. And you understand, they said he was like right there so they knew that he had to be a player. I mean, and he's built like Joe Barton. You know what I'm saying? He's built just like you as a Barton. They were like, I think it's Joe Barton, but I think it's Tyreek Hill. But they get y'all confused quite often. They had to know that he was going to the game, right? That's just crazy. It's their town. How many? They act like they run into a guy with a $500,000 car. I mean, it is Miami, but you do not run into that vehicle every day. On the way to the Miami stadium, misinformation. And think about how much misinformation has come out about that. And that's why he rolled his window up. Like he said, he was like, I don't want people seeing who I am. Well, that guy was like, I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. Roll your window down. But if I was him, but I'm not him. I would have flipped all my doors up, rolled all the windows down, and started screaming and yelling.
Is Coach Johnson on this call? Coach Johnson would have said that's non-compliance.
No, that's what they suggested. You know what I mean? Because you wouldn't roll the window down fast enough. But I have noticed. Look, Reverend Bozeman, you came in with that sound. I'm gonna find out what that sound is. Y'all got some animals up in that house. Where you live, Ohio? I'm just joking.
Buffalo. I don't know what that sound is.
You already know the joke. You know the joke for the debate, and they're talking about the animals in Ohio and the da-da-da. Exactly.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the debate.
Oh, you did?
No.
That was the most exciting. That was exciting. Wasn't that exciting, though? That was exciting. That debate was exciting. You got to go back and watch it. Like, get some popcorn, everything. That was really exciting. They should charge pay-per-view, really, for that. But what was, well,
it was that much fun.
Because if you don't watch it yourself, you're going to get a whole bunch of misinformation, disinformation, stuff that they purposely were saying, you know what I'm saying, just to be thrown out there. So you got to just watch it. Just don't watch the highlights. A lot of people told me, I'm just going to watch the highlights, because if you just watch the highlights, you're getting disinformation. You're getting exactly whatever. How can I watch the same different highlights from all these different networks? You know what I'm saying? This network's like that highlight. This network like this highlight. This network like, but I do. You got, oh my goodness. So if you ever want to hear anything positive about one of the candidates, you can only go to one station. All of the others love the other candidate.
Okay.
So we getting like.
So Trump on Fox?
I'm not saying.
Okay.
But that's where all of the misinformation and things come in, because we don't get news anymore. Everybody's doing it for entertainment. How fabulous can I make this? You know, what is my best sound bite? My best sound bite.
My best clickbait.
My best clickbait, right? Right?
Right.
You know, and I saw a clickbait today and it got me. Fonnie Willis is going back to court on Friday. She's trying not to go back. That they want her to provide some information or something. This is gonna be a long, long, long process for her. She gonna regret the day she got on Carnival Cruise Line. She gonna be like, I will never ever go on a cruise for the rest of my life. That's what I should. I should put out some misinformation that Fonnie Willis said she will never go on Carnival Cruise again. She was like, I did not go on Carnival Cruise. Girl, I ain't going no car. It wasn't. It probably wasn't. But just say Carnival, just that's because that's the way people do it. They say whatever they want to say. And then make it just how many times have you just watched something? And then when I watch stuff about money, that's the stuff that really gets me when they're talking about, well, you can do so and such on your taxes, and it's like, why do they have to mislead people this way? Invest in this and this, blah, 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 and it will do blah, blah, blah. Oh my goodness. And they just click here for more details, and it takes you to something totally different. You don't even remember what they were talking about. You forgot. You were trying to get some Christmas trees on sale. They got you all the way over here. You buying gold now. Get this gold right here. This and that. You're like, how did I get over here? I'm like, there's probably at least a million things that eventually, by the time you finish, you're buying gold bars.
Yeah, it's treacherous out there.
Like, how did I get to here? It was about moisturizer. It was, what in the world? But it's like, there was this push that they wanted to have something in the debate about cryptocurrency. Did y'all hear about that? Now, but fortunately, unless it was a part where I know that I like somewhere between 9:45 and 10 o'clock, I like fell out. So I don't think they mentioned it at all.
Wait, I thought it was just me because I did the same thing. My eyes got me first.
So you didn't see the whole debate?
No,
yes, I did. I told you I did.
Yeah, I did too.
It was probably just a minute, right, Dr. Jones? It was just a minute. It was
for me. It was like maybe a minute and a half or 2 minutes.
Thank you. That's it. We saw a lot more than you did.
I came right back.
That's true.
He's trying to make us feel bad for falling asleep. And then I just say, I was like, I'm going to take my magnesium early so that I won't feel so sleepy when I wake up. Have you ever done that? Like, you take stuff, and if you take it late, you're still going to feel sleepy. You know what I mean? When you wake up, because you haven't given yourself enough time to get over the magnesium. Because I would take magnesium overload. It immediately makes me like, but it's like, I can't say that for everybody, because there's someone listening right now. I know that they were telling me that they don't like, magnesium is not their friend. But I feel like it just, it has to be taken at night and gives you a good. But I took it, and then I was like, oh my goodness, I'm like dozing during the debate. But it was really good, Reverend Bozeman. All of the misinformation you ever want to see, just get it all. If you want an example of misinformation, the proper use of misinformation nowadays is politics. It has become like commonplace. So then they go, well, what we're going to do? We're going to fact check it. And now, look, they fact checked on Trump before he could finish. They used to do it after the debate. They were like, for Trump, we're going to fact check you right now because we knew, sucker, you were about to say that. We knew that. We knew you were going to say that. I was like, how would they think he was going to say that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we knew you were going to come with that. Yeah, well, right here. Da-da-da. But, the things that I thought, why would they know that? They knew. And then stuff that was important to know, they had no fact check on. I'm like, oh my goodness. That's just it, though. You better do your own fact checking. Check it yourself. Period. As I was sharing today about a client was saying, oh my goodness, Trump messed up my tax situation. I still can't get over it. He destroyed my tax situation. I was like, I don't think so. He really helped most people. Like, I was like, of course, like he doubled the standard deduction. And they were like, it's like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. And then so then we just happened to be reviewing his tax return on that, and I said, well, Lord, you took the standard deduction. So if he hadn't made this change, you would have owed like $7,000, at least $7,000 more in taxes. It's like, whoa. But it's still like, because of there's so much misinformation out there, not that there's not a lot that Trump has done wrong, but the tax strategy, that is something that hit right for most people. Doubling the standard deduction has helped a lot of the middle class, which he did not bring up at all, but he should have. Like giving people more into their payroll taxes and stuff like, allowing people to take home more, doing the adjustment, making people do a more informed calculation of their tax withholding and things like that. All of that came from that time as a way to stop the government from holding on to so much of your money during the year. But nobody ever explained it that way. So we have this like misinformation in that we feel terrified that somehow, like, that he harmed us or he hurt us economically. So I just feel like with everything, we have to break it down that way. Everything. I was looking into like the small business startup tax deduction that they're talking about, having. That is really a very much so a play on words, because a business that starts a business can write off their expenses regardless of what you call it. They can write it off. They're legitimate business expenses, to categorize it into, one section and saying, yes, you can have this. You can't duplicate it. Those startup expenses have to include your startup expenses. You can't say, oh, the government gave me this to write off for startup expenses, and then I'm also going to write off this. Like, not if it's part of that. This is giving you a category, but you got to have those expenses. You can't just make it up. Like, you can't, that. So
it was a misdirection they gave you.
Yeah, it's just marketing. It's marketing. Yeah, versus a lot of it, but a lot of everything that we receive is like that, like reproductive rights is abortion rights. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds much better to say reproductive rights. So everybody's like, yeah, you can't take away my right to reproduce. You know what I'm saying? They're like they don't realize it's talking about abortion. A lot of people, I'm sure, don't think that it has anything to do with. They think it's somebody's trying to take away their right to have babies. I know that's what I think of when you say reproductive rights. I feel like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? You can't take away my right to have a baby. But they're not talking about that. But there's so much about like the Retirement Secure Act. It did very little, if any, to really secure your retirement. It didn't help Social Security. It didn't say, let's make sure that we secure the Social Security fund in the Retirement Secure Act. It's not in it. Is that so?
Yes.
So like it could go on and on.
That was like the Inflation Reduction Act.
The Inflation Reduction Act should have worked by now. Y'all acting like y'all crazy. Inflation in general. And then they say, oh, it's only up 3%. And everybody knows their stuff has doubled. I go in the grocery store, buy 3 things. I come out. The fact that we're talking about grocery bills is kind of scary. We didn't used to have to talk about stuff like that. Yeah, but when it comes to financial stuff, I think that we really have to look deeper, especially when they talk about politics and how it affects us financially. We gotta look deeper. No, because Democrats have a lot of rich people. Republicans have a lot of rich people. Both of them have to answer to rich people. You really think that
And they don't
Democrats?
have to answer to
Yeah,
no.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You really think that Democrats, who have all these movie stars and everything in there, that they're going to do something to hurt the movie stars?
The World Economic Forum calls us the useless class.
Who is us that they call the useless? Like the middle class, you mean?
Yeah, the working class people, people who are working, they're working to create artificial intelligence,
to replace it.
And so they say eventually these other people are we're going to replace them with technology.
Yeah,
so they're the worthless, they're useless eaters. All they do is eat and don't contribute.
There was very little discussion about. I didn't hear them talk about that either. Talk about AI. I didn't hear them talk about business. If they went that direction, Trump would probably have really, really taken off, like really dominated the discussion. Because your understanding of business would have to really, really. I don't think ABC wanted to do anything to make him look good. They weren't going to talk about a topic where he's, very powerful in.
Yeah, somebody said the debate was 3 against 1.
Definitely. 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 And they try to let up sometimes, even the first question, she responded with misinformation. They said, do you think that Americans are better off than they were 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago? And she said, I grew up in the middle class. And
No.
So she didn't answer the question.
No,
didn't answer the question.
Did not answer that goddamn.
And if Trump did something like that, they would have tore him up.
Well,
boy, you better answer this question.
Unfortunately, he did that shit all night. He never answered the question either. But not as he did answer his questions. He just answered them in his own way. But he did answer the question. If it was him or anybody with all of us, all she had to do was say one word and be quiet. That was an easy question. Yes.
So Lone Wolf says the fix was in last night. Lindsay Davis is in the same sorority.
Oh, I didn't know that. Of course. I love you, Mr. Johnson. Man.
They said before it started that nobody would have notes or what the questions would be. But on her podium, she had paper. She had what?
What you mean paper?
Like there was nothing.
Oh, yes, she was taking notes, and they said you weren't supposed to do that. Yeah. But
you couldn't bring notes. You couldn't bring notes.
Oh, you couldn't bring it, but you could take it.
You could, yeah.
Yeah. But look, I know. But Trump is like, I don't need no notes. I'm only 80 years old. Imagine what he's gonna be like at 90. He getting better and better. Wouldn't it be some sort of statistical anomaly? We're gonna be like, look, give me some of that. What do you have? They may got some sort of secret potion at home. See, that's how misinformation starts. I'm just joking. But there's someone out there who probably thinks he's got secret potion. Like, yeah. I'll be like, yeah, it's magnesium. They'll be like, sell that magnesium out. I'm gonna start that tomorrow, Mr. Loach. This magnesium is the same magnesium that Trump uses. It's gonna have like the Statue of Liberty and the magnesium sign.
You're gonna sell it?
I'm gonna sell it.
Try after a gun, did it?
Exactly. Look at this. Y'all want this?
Well, if it can do that for Trump, I think a lot of people want to
take it. You know what I'm saying? They
yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at this. I can win 3 against 1. I got it. I'm sorry to say 3 against 1. I got the gun. Somebody be like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Because you can splice it. You can splice it all out. Take out my little one sentence. You know what I'm saying? And say, oh Lord, she loves guns. I'm like, no, that's Lone Wolf. What did Lone Wolf say? To people live. I don't know how it took us that big, y'all. Said they really got us big now. You know, said, y'all read it to me so I can get this thing smaller. It's in my face. But can you see Lone Wolf's quote? Oh, why is it doing that? His statement. Oh, people live in self-constructed bubbles. Oh, that's Dr. Williams. Now Lone Wolf said. That's right.
Was in last night.
Yeah. Lindsay Davis is a member of the same sorority. The fix was in. You come in here and say it to my face. You're scared. You're scared. What did he say? What did he say about Tariq? He said, our retired police officer. What he was saying? He said what type of ticket he got. They still were wrong. It was crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, there they go. They got it back. I love that, Mr. Johnson. Everybody should tell me they love me. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Let me get you back. This thing trying to mess me up. I love you, JB. You gonna stay up there all night until somebody says something better. There is nothing better. I love you back. That's right. I love it. So the misinformation in politics we see all the time, but the biggest part is that how expensive it can be for us financially, how expensive it can be from a health situation. Now, I was looking at like some of the biggest lies or misinformation in history. Did you know that Rosa Parks was not sitting in the white section? Did you know that?
Yeah. I thought she was sitting right behind, and then they wanted her seat. No matter what, they still wanted her seat.
Exactly. They wanted her to get out from the black section. So
they didn't want the white people standing up. So
yeah, this white guy, he was standing up, and he said, "Wait a minute, but I didn't. That's misinformation that we've been given." She was like minding her own business in the black section. So get up. How many, misinformation, like it was also referring to, and historically that like, and we've talked about this before, but like Abraham Lincoln, he wasn't really all about slavery ending.
No, he wasn't.
It was kind of like an afterthought, misinformation. The thing,
he said if he could settle it without killing slavery, he would do it.
Yep. And all the slaves weren't freed. And I didn't know that. It said that the slavery, that what he signed allowed for slaves to become free if they could get to free land. It wasn't to like a year or so later or something like, where it was, they had to give them up. But most of the slave owners that gave up slaves got money. They got reparations.
Yeah, they got reparations.
So it's hard for me to hear.
They got their land
They should have
back.
brought that up. They should have brought that up in the debate last night. Do you believe that reparations are, that Black Americans should get reparations?
Why would they do something like that?
Right?
No, then Trump would have just won. No matter what, he would have, because there are a lot of people that feel like that's in the past.
Yeah. But Ms. Harris said she would never do it either.
Because she wants the votes.
Yeah, but she said that before. She just said, I will never do anything just for black folk. And that reparations is definitely just for black folk. I've never heard him say that. I'll never do it. He has done things just for black folk. He has helped HBCUs, things like that.
I
So
think
there is
President Obama said something similar to that because they want to be inclusive.
That's right. That's right.
Forget us.
That's right. And that's the difference between a black person who comes from immigrants and black person whose ancestors built this country like ours did. My ancestors been here since day one. My grandfather's name is Kunta Kinte. Alex Haley is like, I'm not related to that lady, but that's how far we go back. So it's like, if you don't have that, then you're not going to stand up there and relate to this. Nobody up there related to it.
That's right. Obama didn't relate.
She doesn't relate.
And she doesn't relate.
So she can easily say that.
All they have is non-white skin.
Because you don't think they didn't have to go through coming back from war and being your family being black and they not getting the help and not being able to do the businesses that they were promised, that the veterans would get the business loans and get the home loans and get the, and they didn't experience a family that got redlined. They didn't experience that. And she never made reference to her dad, but she did have a mom and a dad. And her father was involved in her upbringing. But yet Trump is supposed to be ashamed of what his family did for him. That's the way it's supposed to work. And her dad did a lot for her. I want to know what you put on your Howard University application. Give me that information, and I'll accept that as what race you are.
What did you put on that?
Exactly. You want to get some scholarship money from Howard? You put down Indian. You want to get nothing, just be the average black at Howard? You put down black, like I had to put. And they accepted me to Howard, and I got 0 scholarship money.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you know of any student?
Right.
Do you know of any students who refuse to answer that question?
Any student?
Any student or students who refuse to answer the ethnicity question and still got in school? I guess that's my question.
I don't know if you can refuse. Exactly. I don't. Because there's every incentive. There's this Indian guy, Indian as in Kamala Indian, Kamala Indian, that he said that he got to med school because he put down that he was black. They weren't going to accept him because it was Indian. But if you go to a black school, the special part is that you're Indian.
I asked that question because
how's it cut him off? I asked that question because his Wi-Fi went out. But
that's the CIA.
Right? Exactly. Don't ask that question. Exactly. He said it as the CIA. You're not supposed to ask that question. But that would have been funny if Trump said, I wanted Obama's birth certificate and I want your college application, sister. Sister.
I'm from Louisiana, where people are still passing for white.
Right.
So
right.
Not, yeah.
Right.
Now they're still doing it now. You look at me and say, I see that nose.
That's right.
I see those lips.
That's right.
I see that hair.
But they fit right in, Yeah, it's something. I met this lady one time, and she was a ice skater or something, and she was. I thought I had met a white lady, And then she showed me pictures of her when she was skating. She was older than, and her thighs were like poof, poof, like sister thighs, like, you know. And I said, "Are you Black?" And she was so offended.
Oh no!
I bet she was Black though. It was in there.
Wow.
She might not. I think she processed her hair. Like a lot of people, you know, like their hair is like mine. You know, you just got to do is put a little bit of perm in it, and it's true. It's flat. It's straight. Like show y'all my hair when I was in high school and college. You know, it's straight. And then
I put that stuff on my hair, and it went right back.
Yeah. Oh, your hair didn't go straight.
No.
Nah, you probably
the top went straight, but the side said no.
Nah, that's how they applied it. But I'm telling you, comb through, you put that in there and then comb that thing straight. Your hair gonna go straight. You're gonna be like, you gonna be looking like Malcolm X, you know, in the movie when they put that process in there.
Yeah, like Nat King Cole.
That perm is so straight. Like in college, I had we became really good friends. Again, I thought she was white, and she told me she was Egyptian, and she put perm in her hair. She said, "I use the same perm you use." She's like, "I'm not white." She was unapologetic though about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not white, I'm Egyptian. And because I'm straight out of the country. Like I didn't know about all these other things than being Black. I thought everybody, because my mother looked like her, but my mom always identified Black, but she looked white. So then I knew that you could be Black but look white, you know, but nobody ever thought that my mother looked like that because they just think your mom looks like you look. But but there is a difference when you're Black American. We are Black American, African American. I did see that Trump said that.
When I was in third grade, my teacher was Ethiopian. She refused to identify with African Americans. She was
but even my friend in college, she didn't say she was Black. She didn't say she was African. She said she was Egyptian. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, she didn't identify with me like that. Nah, we were just friends, but in school and study. But go home and hang out and stuff like that, no. Yeah, that's true. And and that's the way. Like I noticed that, and and it wasn't that long ago that when I was in school, but there's still that challenge. Like we are different people. Like everybody has their own culture.
Yeah.
And there's a misinformation that diversity is about fitting in, and it's not. Diversity, in my opinion, is about bringing something new to the table. It's not you disappear. It's not assimilation.
No.
Diversity and equity and inclusion is accepting me for who I am. I should not have to change me, but bring my work ethic and my intelligence and my critical thinking and my commitment to the table.
Amen.
Because I'm bringing something new. And I think that what holds us back is the misinformation that we can't bring anything if we're our own Black self. And we can. And then also that we're not owed anything, and that our history and the systemic racism that really the Democratic Party has done a good job of making sure that we remember. They keep bringing it back at us. They should also incorporate what are we going to do to make sure that things are equalized. Correct?
Correct.
No, there's a misinformation that diversity and inclusion means that you're making me equal, and it's not. If only one of us can make it out, if only one of us, can be president, could it have been a Black man and a Black lady up there debating?
Should have been.
Could she win if she liked her black father? Hypothetically, supposed to be black. So it's okay for her to reject her black father. That might be why, that could be helping her. They could have done a survey on it. Do we like?
Oh, I know they did a survey. They do a survey on everything.
Everything. That's so true. And asked the control group if she liked her dad, would that help?
Yeah.
So they said, don't stay away from your dad, because most people don't like their dad. Isn't that sad? most, I mean, that's the kind of misinformation comes out of a control group survey.
That's right.
When one time there was this thing that Obama said that black men need to get themselves together. Black men need to go out there and be with their kids. And when the research study was really done, it said that black men had a higher desire than other demographics to be with their kids. So I think people assume just because you're not with your kids, because the incarceration rate is much higher for black men. So if they have a child, then he can't be with his child. But nobody asks about his desire. A lot of black men stay away from a conflict situation because he's afraid he's going to go to jail because the lady hates him. So he can't even go. He can't go check. He's scared. He don't want to get the police involved.
There's a level at which, in order for them to get assistance from the government, the man cannot be around. They kick him out of the house.
Yeah. But that doesn't count for them saying on a survey that the black man's not there. Yeah, they're kicking him out of the house because they don't want him around, because they believe that they cannot. A misinformation is that they could not do better together. And the misinformation is that he doesn't need her. And he does.
Yes, he does.
There was an interview now someone was telling me about, that James Earl Jones was being interviewed, and they asked him, why didn't you marry a black woman? And he said, because black women are more aggressive. They're too aggressive. And his white wife was in the interview, and they said, I haven't seen it. And they said she looked at him like, why would you say that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was embarrassed. But because she was probably thinking, I'll beat your ass every day. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to start, but you don't know what you're talking about. You wait. You see who's aggressive. He sat down that night. Who's saying it? Oh, so that's what I'm doing wrong.
so he was a Mustafa that night.
Right? She told him, oh, really? You gonna talk about the sisters? You wait till you see. You ain't see what the white girl gonna do. I'm gonna get you. And you can't call the popo. Try to call the popo up in here. They be like, James Earl Jones was crying. She called some sisters that night. The sisters were like, look, girl, get him. Get him for all of us. Get him. Get his bald head. May you rest in peace. But that's the misinformation, that's out there. I saw something today, and this guy was like saying, oh, they don't make women like this anymore. And it was a video, and it was about a black woman was saying, we left that restaurant because it was too expensive, and I didn't want to spend all this money, and I was like, he was like, they don't make them like that. And I said, well, personally, nobody except for my daddy has ever spent any money on me. So I agree with her. There's no reason to waste anybody's money, but I don't know nothing about nobody spending no money on me. So I don't even know when the black men started spending money on women. He's talking about the ladies saying be more efficient. So it's like, I don't see that. But that's the misinformation, that they think that we're like somehow trying to rob men. when that's not even true. I don't even know any black women that have robbed a man, like, you know what I mean, and taken advantage of him. It's on some movie or something, and they believe it. It doesn't even matter. It could be like, here he is, here she is, here it is. The black girl is on social media. He better give me this. He better so and so. And then Leroy called, girl, you got $10. Boy, stop. I got it. I sent it to your Cash App. Just like that. That's the same girl who was saying what he gonna do for her, done gave that man money. Now she will talk about somebody like me who will say, ain't nobody ever done nothing for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll take care of myself. Like, you know, oh, she's stupid. She's stupid. But at least I'm not spreading misinformation that somehow, you know what I'm saying, I got somewhere from taking something from someone. That's just not my modus of operandi. And I haven't seen that. Neither Mr. Loach. I haven't seen that. I want to find her, though. I want to find her. And every time I see a young girl, I go, look, don't be like me. You make that man do everything he can for you. Now, I am spreading that. That's not misinformation. I'm not allowing this to go to another generation because I think that is important. It is important for y'all, Dr. Jones. It is important for y'all young men to go out there and spend money on women. Okay? It is important to the economy, and it is important to making females smile. Right? So you go out there and spend some money on a woman.
As a young black man, I say she.
See, I know. Exactly. But there is a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. You just spend that money and spend that money and spend that money. And you're a good woman. That's so true. But there's so much misinformation, so much misleading stuff. You know, I saw a video the other day, and this man was talking about how, oh Lord, Lone Wolf, say it to my face. Come on, no, you know it. You know you spend all the money. He spent all the money on the women. That's the ones that say no, they wouldn't. Y'all spend it all. You and Dr. Jones, y'all always just spending women. You're just spending you buying women McLarens and stuff. But and when it comes to medically and things that we're believing about, that we have to take high blood pressure medicine to get your blood pressure down. I think that the key should be, the misinformation in that is that there's not something that you can do to prevent having high blood pressure. That that there's the misinformation from health that, and y'all can help me with the lies that are out there about how we should take care of ourselves. I think there's
the problem I have with my new doctor is no matter what my issue is, his first instinct is to go to medication. And I say to him, well, what about my diet? What about my nutrition? I said, send me to the dietitian or nutritionist. He did it last time, but the first 2 times he was like, yeah, let's get on this medication. I'm like, come on, man, work with me. Work with me, not against me. Work with me. Because I'm interested in my health. Work with me.
That's right. If you're willing to do it, I think that a lot of times they say just medicine to us because most people aren't willing to make the lifestyle changes so that they don't have to do that. I think that they should at least give people 90 days or 6 months to make the lifestyle changes. Nothing is, you know what I mean? Nothing is done the problem wasn't created overnight, then it's not going to be repaired overnight. Or say, you know what I mean, take this and come back and see me next month. Like, let's make these changes. And I want you to just, if you would just do that, if they think the medicine is that important, but they do need to say, this is preventable. A lot of the things that we have are preventable. They are introduced to us like, well, your parents had it, so then you're going to have it. And then that's the way it is because, you're Black. That's just terrible. That is misinformation. Even, and we've talked about that, like, that it's not 90% of things are inherited. It is a percentage, a small percentage, like 30% of things that people have they're predisposed to or exposed to. Like, it's in your DNA, some things, but it still doesn't guarantee that you're going to have it. It's kind of like, Usain Bolt's son is not automatically going to be fast to run, or daughter. They still have to train. So there are certain things that you have in common. We have habits that we inherit, but it is misinformation to think that you have to have the same illnesses that your ancestors had.
Right. Michael Jordan's son is a playboy.
Right?
He don't deal with basketball.
That's true, right? That's right. He said, this is easy money right here.
Amen.
Get an ex-player's wife. She got income. She ain't got to worry about having no job. She get her alimony. You good. He figured that out.
Yeah, sure did.
Exactly. It doesn't work. You just got to just keep looking good. You good. Your dad going to die at some point. You're going to get some of that, man. You good. It's just like life is good. But honestly, like, misinformation in many cases, there's something that we have accepted as true that is not true. We have made it true in the way we've accepted the information. And sometimes you get disinformation. Like, I was looking at the information on this boxer. He's from down there near you, Mr. Loach. And he does real well. He's a good boxer. And so he's coming out. What was his name? Like, his name was like Terrence something. I think his name was Terrence. But he has this video is out. And he says, like, when I was a little kid, he said, when I was a kid, my mother would pay other kids to beat me up. And he said, my dad always told me I was going to be the man. I was going to be a winner. I was going to, be the best boxer in the whole world. He said, but my mom told me I wasn't going to be nothing. And I couldn't beat nobody. And he said, so she would pay guys in the neighborhood $10 if they won the fight. But nobody ever won. So he said, even when he won, when he started winning, like in boxing, she said, oh, well, boy, whatever. You ain't nobody. You ain't that good. And he said he turned her negative pain into power. And I've told y'all about that. Like, I literally believe that, like, from my life experience, that God allowed me to switch it. You know what I'm saying? And say, because of that negative experience, I'm going to use it in this positive way to do God's will.
All right.
He can turn that stuff around. But if we accept the misinformation and the disinformation, because she was only saying what she believed, and she probably, for whatever reason, they still hang, but he knows his mom comes from a negative place. And instead of focusing on changing her, he used that negative energy and said, I show her.
Wow.
And I like, sometimes I've thought about that I've received so much negative feedback in my life that I have created such a positive experience now. Now I stay away from negativity, that maybe sometimes I need to have the negative experience so it keep me fired up. I'll show you. It does, like, you have, like, if you're resistance, because I do well under resistance. You know what I'm saying? Like I lift weights. I like things to be heavy. I like things to be hard. I'll run faster if I have to drag something that's heavy than if I run and it's just me. You know what I'm saying? You have to have pressure. So you have to get to know like what actually, you know, it can be misinformation for some of us to feel like that everything has to be positive and everybody has to say everything positive, you know, and this and that. Somebody, you know, every now and then just give you, you know, God gives you what you need. So maybe I needed all that. Maybe I didn't need anybody to buy me anything because it made me have to work all the time. You know what I'm saying? It made me make sure I have my own. You don't have to worry about being independent if all you've ever been is independent. You know, if that's all you know. You crazy. Yeah, it's so true. That's why Mr. Johnson is up there. I love you. You're never going to get up there. You're never going to be a headliner on my show. No more. Calling me crazy. You got to say, JB, I love you. Love you, JB. Like Mr. Johnson. You got to say. Look. See, because I keep having these positive things. Maybe I'm supposed to have that. Maybe I'm supposed to have JB, you crazy. JB, you know what I mean? Maybe this. Something negative.
Consider that your balance. That's your balance.
That's so true. That's so true. That's so true. Pull it, look, pull it. But it is like you could, and then I think that could be like why people, as they age, you know, they kind of mellow out. They don't have as much fight in them and stuff like that. You know, did y'all see something change? I saw my picture in there changed. I just want to make sure. Oh, it's probably it just flipped up a little bit. But as long as y'all are good, I'm good. But but I think that, you know, as we get older, like we could just, I love you, but you crazy. That's right. That's good. He's really trying to get a headline, isn't he? He is really trying to get this headline. I don't know. He used bold numbers. He put bold letters. He put the crazy face and everything. But you ain't getting on there, Russell. Mr. Johnson, you are still holding your own. You carrying the belt. You're the heavyweight, Mr. Johnson. That's indeed.
But the truth is, you had to be crazy to do what you're doing. You know, to take that step.
For 30 years too. Goodness gracious. What is up with y'all?
Because it don't make sense.
It does not make sense. Exactly. It doesn't add up. And you lose so much. Like the days that I had to, you know, my mother would say, what are you doing? Why are you still working? Why don't you come over here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you sacrifice so much to be the best in what you do. Mm-hmm. We sacrifice unbelievable amounts. I was watching a video with LeBron was saying about how much discipline and sacrifice that it has required for him to, you know, be on top of his game.
Right.
You know,
and even when you win, it's not enough because they want you to win again.
And you got to get better. You got to get better. This morning I got up at 4:00. You know, I had to work out from hell. And then you just look at yourself and you go, that's it? That's it? But you have to just continue to work out and try to save your life so that you can keep your brain as healthy as possible. I've gotten to the point now where I exercise for my brain health. I know how much better I think, how much clearly I process. You know, we have a misinformation in the fact that we think that things are about what we look like. They're not really about what we look like. It's about what's going on inside. It's about so you're exercising to keep all of your systems functioning carefully. And then it shows up outside what you're doing to your insides. But it started inside, but we think it starts outside. No, but we cannot put on enough makeup to make up for the look of a broken heart. Like I had a picture of one of my clients, and her whole face looks different since her brother died. And she's celebrating her 90th birthday, and she's hurt. I could see the pain. I could see the pain, and I think that we have misinformation about what really matters in life. There is absolutely none of her money that can bring her brother back.
That's right.
Nothing. You have all the money in the world. You know me, we have been misinformed about what really matters. That peace of mind, your consciousness, knowing that you got a family or someone that really cares about whatever your value system is, that, it becomes priceless as we develop spiritually. We've been misinformed that it really is about like how much, how fast and how many times I double your money and everything, when I know that the money will never satisfy you. That's why we have to have these discussions about gratitude and these discussions about your health and these discussions about, your family and what's important to you. I need to understand your values so that I can see when you're in pain. If I don't know you, I can't help you. But we've been misinformed that we think that a computer, can really take care of you, and it just can't. We deserve to have people in every capacity of our life that actually will take out the time to make sure that you're okay. Will look in your face. And so misinformation, disinformation, please, forgive any segment of the discussion that made it seem that I'm leaning any particular way politically. I'm 100% independent. Afroeconomics does not endorse a political candidate. I just try to pick on us because I know we all we tend to lean a particular way. I don't want us to ever be ill-informed or misinformed. I think that we need, it's so predictable, right?
And I don't want to be predictable.
Yeah.
I like when you present a different topic of conversation or a different side of things. I don't particularly think you're taking that side. I think you just want a discussion.
Exactly.
You just want to have a discussion.
I'm a flip. That's right.
Or in other words, a debate.
You're like, here she comes. She's trying to she's coming, and I can't help it. I'm the last of four. The last of four kids. Like, I had to come with something interesting. I had to always have another way of looking at things. And that's what we deserve. That's what we need. That's what's going to keep us powerful as a people. Even as we love one another, we still need to be able to help each other build. And if we can't point out, this would have, this will help, this may help, if we can't help each other, then that, I can't love you properly without giving you honest feedback. And sometimes that's not what we actually want to hear. And I want y'all to always be able to tell me. Y'all always tell me. Y'all always correct me, and that's the healthiest place. That's where we should be. I don't think all of our conversations, just because we're Black people need to know, like Reverend Bozeman said, we need to be more unpredictable. They don't need to know, Black people feel this way. All of them. That's what they think.
Yeah, they put us in a block.
Yeah. Run commercials on BET. They all watch BET. So it's like,
as if we are not individuals with our own minds.
yes, exactly. We're just, just some of us, literally, we all have the right. Some of us, like, I'm sure, cannot identify with my Southern outlook on reparations and how, how many generations my family goes back. This is it. We're descendants of slaves. And so reparations mean a lot to us. So it's worth us thinking about that. Will it happen? Are we supposed to give up on it? Do we have to give up on it?
No, not at all.
That's right. We don't. I don't. Even if it's not in our lifetime, we need to have it set up, because our descendants, accordingly.
Well, the quote unquote masters of the universe think the long game anyway.
Amen.
Stuff they plan, they know won't be enacted until after they die.
Amen.
Like their sons and their grandsons will take up the flag. But,
that's right.
They start planning on it now.
We have to, though. That's a very good point. We need to think in generations, versus just thinking in what we have right here.
Right.
Yeah, right now. But stop thinking just this month, just this week. I want to, in closing, I want us to think about one term called metacognitive efficiency. It says metacognitive skills are essentially our ability to think about thinking. According to a 2021 study of Psychological Review, these skills help us use our confidence levels to judge the accuracy of our own decisions, beliefs, and thoughts. In simpler terms, this is out of a Forbes magazine. Metacognition is the mental process that helps us evaluate how likely we are to be correct. Isn't that something? So it's about metacognitive inefficiency is when you're confident, but you're wrong. And metacognitive efficiency is, that you're confident, and most likely you're right. Your confidence is fact-based. And, so they're starting to do, some research on there. And I saw that on, the difference between different types of people and which ones are most likely to be metacognitively efficient versus inefficient. Not even going to discuss it. but think about what we're thinking about. Does it sound like...
They say less intelligent people tend to think they're right. Which is...
With confidence.
Yeah.
And then even if you come with facts, that would be metacognitive inefficient.
Exactly.
Metacognitively jacked up.
That's why you look for another job, because your boss is an idiot.
Yeah. You better. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine people that have a boss that's like that? Yeah. And they just know they're right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like based on zero fact at all.
Exactly.
People need to eat. People need to eat lunch at 12 noon every day. Everybody need to eat lunch at 12 noon because that is the exact time in which the solar system goes around. So it's like what we do is everybody eats at lunch, and then somebody says, "Well, I like to eat at 2:00." No, we all eat at 12 because he said exactly. Ms. Clemens said it's about self-talk. Exactly, but they have no basis. So you go. So where did you see the science that said that everybody has to do this, and then says, oh, well, well, I didn't see it, but I know it. I know it because it's always worked for me, and they're so confident in their wrongness.
Metacognitive dissonance.
Yeah. And I've heard that term versus the efficiency or inefficiency. I hadn't heard, but I have heard metacognitive dissonance or cognitive dissonance. Yeah, I don't know if I heard the meta on it, but there's always something. But yes, self-talk, thinking about what we think about. If it sounds too good to be true, y'all, generally it is. I wonder if that's my chirp. You think it's me that noise is coming from?
Could be. Let me turn off my mic again.
It's probably my fight. You're good. We're leaving, but
it could have been me because I just muted my mic, and when you said that, I cut it back on. But it could have been me. I'm gonna cut it
my
back
fire alarms do that sometimes, though. It doesn't matter. But whoever it is, we got to check our fire alarm. It's probably me. And I don't know how my daughter, when we do that, sometimes we'll let that thing go for a week. Oh, it's you?
It's me, JB. It's me because when they came in here and did the work, they had to take the fire alarm out because it kept going off. Yeah, the smoke detector, they had to take that shit out because it kept going off. Yeah, so
they better make sure that battery is good. That's gonna be
good.
Somebody got. Oh, why is it
chirping?
The battery is good
because I guess they didn't put it back in correctly. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, hit the reset button. That's a mess. And you need a ladder.
Lifestyle. You don't have to go there. You didn't have to go there.
I mean, nobody is tall enough. Nobody. It's not that. Nobody is. Nobody. It's not just you. It's not just you. There is nobody tall enough to change it. Unless their ceilings are really low, and I know mine are, so I have to, and then the ladder, and I still don't want to go all the way to the top of the ladder, so it's still a challenge.
And I also busy putting stuff back together in here. I didn't even care about the chirping. When I laid down, I was out. Every time I laid down, I was out. Yeah.
Good. That's what I told you. Me and Aziza do that, and I'm like, how does she sleep through that? Because it'll be closer to her, like on a different floor. I'm on another floor. But I feel it though. It's loud. If you sleep through that, you sleeping. You don't need magnesium. But just, you all be, careful on what we see, especially on social media. If you ever doubt it, I know Ms. Clement said so true. You don't need magnesium. Y'all be careful on, what you believe and what you don't believe. Be slow to take actions on things. Let me know if I can help you. Run it by me. Exactly. Luanda said that noise would drive her crazy. Exactly. I was just like amazed at how it doesn't get on our nerves, Luanda. I'll be like, how has that thing been chirping for 3 days and we are still letting it do it? Exactly. It just turns into like a challenge, like just as a personal challenge. Like, how many days can we ignore this? That's metacognitive efficiency. We don't hear it. Y'all be good. Y'all have a positive.
Love you, JB.
Love you more than that. Love you more than that. And stay strong. And I'll be talking with y'all Friday morning for our members only meeting.
Okay.
Be great. Take care. And in the honor of everyone in 9/11/2001, I was big and pregnant that day. And didn't know what was going to happen. I remember like getting all the clients together and let's talking. So if there's any day that we really should think about, we have more in common than we have different, it's on 9/11.
All right.
You know, so God bless y'all, and I'm so glad that we made it. We made it.
Amen.
Bye bye. Good night.